And just like, no one rob us, please.
Well, it was like, I've got $30,000 worth of instruments on me right now.
Like, what do you want me to do? The the bassoonist behind you hearing that, being like, I just have one that costs that much. What?
Yes.
He's like, oh, that's crazy of me. And it just happens like that. That's why I think people, if you're gonna like rob anybody, look at audition postings for second and auxiliary. That's when you rob someone. They're
Ooh,
carrying possibly triple digits of like instruments on their back. Casually jump them in the street at 8 a.m. They're not gonna be able to fight you off. I'm not saying we should do that, but I'm just saying like cut down the competition.
but if you're looking for your next business venture, that's it.
That's it right there. Audition theft. Stealing the show. Every audition, every time. My God. I don't even know I'm doing this read,
That one
honestly,
sounds good. The high B flat sounded a teensy bit flat, but isn't it always?
isn't it? Always. Like, if you heard a B flat with me ever in tune, you won't. You won't, girl.
We're jumping right in. How have your reads been the last few weeks?
Well, I did just rip the side off one of my reads, so everything was honestly going okay up until that point. But other than that, we just had that cold snap that's just making its way across our beautiful country right now. So I'm hearing different things from all my students' reads and my own reads. They're just things are closed down, but it's whatever. The reads that I love, they're still holding on for dear life. So we're thankful for that, including my synthetic read that was for a student that ended up being a read for a concert and for my practice time. What about you, Matthew?
I definitely feel that about the cold snap. Nothing feels good anymore. I felt like I had so many good reads, and now I really don't. They're fine. Like they're usable, but they aren't singing like they were before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're just like, it's stiff. They're just very stiff.
Before I prattle on about my gigs, how are yours?
Well, I had one gig this weekend. It was interesting. So the theme for this was opera for all, and it was a bunch of random opera excerpts, including La Scala. I play English horn in this orchestra, so I did not have to play. But
Excellent.
so I played on two other pieces on English horn out of the like possibly 25 pieces they did. And so I was only on there for the first half of the program for like 10 minutes total. But they opened with La Scala, and it was really beautiful. The principal oboe player sounded absolutely gorgeous. She was really anxious about it the whole rehearsal before, and I was like, "Girl, do not worry about this. Like, you're actually getting to play it in concert in, like, the concert, not an
Mhm.
audition. So, like, you have, like, everything around you, the rest of the music to kind of, like, balance it out." And I was, like, blown away by how great she sounded. So, it was just really fun to hear that. I've never heard that piece played live ever anywhere in my life. So I was like, "Oh, I get to hear it not even a foot away."
I don't think I've ever heard La Scala live either, and I wanted to ask if she tongued it all.
She did. The entire thing.
Yes.
She tongued it all. That's where she was panicking at. She was like, "Oh my gosh, my tongue is gonna be so tired." And she was, but she lived. She had to play another, like, hour and a half of music. So she was like, "The big fish is out of the way. Onward to playing 2 measures of music in Ave Maria later." So she tongued it, ate it up. It was so great. I was like, "Oh, yes. Yes." But tell me about your gigs. Tell me about what you have had going on.
So I played with a college orchestra, just going in to fill in because they only have two oboes and they needed English horn for a piece. And it was a new composition about North Carolina mountains or trees, I think. I paid really good attention. But the second oboe student didn't come to one of the rehearsals. And then for the next day that was going to be the concert, the director emailed me and said, "Hey, she's not going to be at the concert. Can you cover for her on the other piece, which was Sibelius 2?" The concert was at like 7:30 that night. It was 2 in the afternoon, and I went,
Oh.
Yeah, sure. I'll do it. And there were some tricky licks in that. If y'all have never played Sibelius 2, one of those movements, there's just what key was I in? In A flat, maybe, and just a lot of very exposed. It was scary. We didn't go as fast as most of the recordings go, and I
Mhm.
was very thankful.
Ugh, not Sibelius 2 in under 5 hours of preparation.
It was fine. I hate to say I was just playing with a student orchestra, but I was like, they've been working on this music for a long time. I'll just kind of hide,
Fair.
and it will be just fine. I'm just playing second oboe on this. So the next week, I was playing with Piedmont Wind Symphony, and band music as an oboist is not really my favorite. I'm sure it's not y'all's favorite either, or maybe it is. And if it is, good for you. But for me, it's always just playing really loud and having to play sharp, and it's
Yes.
exhausting. And because we're on the front row, I kind of feel like, despite me saying you have to play loud all the time, I revert to playing really quietly
Mhm.
because there's nothing in front of me absorbing the sound. And the director is usually telling the front row we're too loud. But after the concert, one of the clarinet player's partners was there, and he's a flute player. And he went, I couldn't hardly hear you guys at all, the oboes or the flutes. And I went, well, maybe we should bump it up. Because, like I
Maybe.
said, the director's always going, less from y'all. But he's a tuba player. He wants brass, 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 brass all the
Yeah.
time.
It's a brass eat brass world out there, isn't it?
Mm.
Whatever.
Oh. And then I was playing the musical An American in Paris for a Sunday matinee. I said no to that gig twice because I knew I would be going in less prepared than I would like to. And then truly it ended up being even less prepared than the less prepared than I would like to because I didn't get the music until Wednesday. And I was already in the middle of the other concert series that I was doing.
Oh, man.
And, well, like I said no to the gig twice. The first time I went,
Mhm.
I'm really gonna be too busy. I don't think I wanna put myself through that. And then they asked
Okay.
again, and I said, "No, I'm not gonna do it." And then they came back and said, "Please, can you do it? We can't find anybody to do it." And I went, "I don't even have an A clarinet to to cover this A clarinet part." And he went, "I'll let you borrow my A clarinet. Can you do it? And we'll pay you extra." And so I said, "Okay, fine." But that book was oboe, English horn, B flat clarinet, A clarinet, alto, and tenor sax. It was too
Oh?
much.
Oh? You mean you didn't get to play any bassoon either just to top off of doing reeds only?
I would have loved to have played bassoon over any clarinet any day. The clarinets are gonna hate us. I don't hate the clarinet. I hate playing the clarinet a lot.
Yes.
It never feels right.
As someone who played clarinet before they switched to the oboe, that, like, transition for the embouchure is insane, and I'm just like, "Oh, oh, everything feels weird here," and I'm just like, "How do people make sound on this instrument?" And I'm
Mhm.
like, "I don't know." If you do make sound on the clarinet and you like it, then love that for you. Don't hand me a clarinet again. Don't hand either of us a
No.
clarinet. Thank you.
But so I survived that truly sight reading about 80% of that show. And because I went, it's all Gershwin music. I think I know most of it thematically.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. And I did. The tunes were all recognizable to me. Some of them because I'm an old queen at heart. And I was like, ooh, I remember hearing this on Julie Andrews and Carol Burnett's special from Carnegie Hall. You know? And, ooh,
Long
Ethel
live
Merman sang that one. This is the second time Ethel Merman has gotten a shout out on this podcast.
oh, oh, oh. Ethel, if you can hear us, Steve, this episode is out for you and you alone.
I'm like 99% sure she's dead, so we may need the Ouija board.
You know what? You keep the Ouija board. I'll just, I'll just stay out of that range. Those things scare me.
Let
Also, yes, Ethel Merman died, like, in 1984, so we're
Okay.
I was like, "I wanna check that. That's a good question." I was like, "84, okay, long d."
Never overlapped, but that's okay. I would have thought the early '90s, but that's fine.
Yeah, she was born in 1908. I did not know that.
I'm gonna bring Ethel back into this because for everyone that has seen the Wicked Live celebration thing and clips from that, when Ariana and Cynthia sang "Come On Get Happy" and "Happy Days," the mashup, it was originally done that way by Judy Garland and Barbara Streisand, a very young Barbara Streisand on the Judy Garland show.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then at the very end of that episode of the Judy Garland show, Ethel Merman was in the building somewhere, like maybe over on another studio recording something. And so they had her come over, and the three of them saying there's no business like show business. And then it's extra funny because you can tell if you watch it that Barbara Streisand has no idea what the lyrics are to that song. You just see her moving around and doing things, but she does not
she's
know that song, and it's
delivering
hilarious to me.
choreo. She's delivering the choreo as best as she can. Wee woo.
That has nothing to do with anything, but I love it all. So then I got to go see Philippe Tendre do a master class at Chapel Hill, which was phenomenal and exciting because he is an amazing player and gorgeous.
Correct. We have to. Sorry, he is.
Check my social media pages to see our engagement photos. Aren't they cute? You heard it here first, everybody.
We're gonna let you guys know where they're registered at, so be prepared to drop some money. I'm pretty sure they're registered at, like, Marigo or Oboe Shop Da, Midwest Musical Imports. They're looking for a new oboe, so or 3. So, let's go.
We do both play M2 Marigos, and he said his is 22 years old, and mine is, like, 8 years old, so we're gonna be needing some new oboes. Thanks, everybody.
Exactly.
He played, and it filled that room so differently from what we're used to because of the European sound, but I
Right.
loved it. What I like so much about it, I think compared to American playing, I feel like with American playing, to me anyway, every time you play a C or like a G, the timbres really stick out, and not with everyone, but with so many people. You really
Mhm.
hear the different timbres of the different notes that we're playing, and that's something that's to be celebrated, and I think a lot of people like to celebrate that, but I love the homogeny of his sound and a lot of
Oh,
European sounds where every note sounds exactly the same timbrally, unless
yeah.
they decide to change the color, and the oboe is not deciding to change the color.
It's like the amount of control that they have. You're just like,
Mhm.
"Ugh, what's that like?" Meanwhile, we see
It's
a low C sharp coming and I'm saying a little prayer, hoping it comes out in tune and comes out in general.
mhm. The students all played great. There was one in particular, he played La Scala, and he did a great job on it. Philippe had very little to say. Pretty much he just went, "Let's work on a couple of these intervals and where your air is going," and then in the fast section, he went, "You're just rushing a little bit," and he played it again, nailed it. It was
Ooh,
phenomenal. And then he
yeah.
did the Brahms Violin Concerto, and, Philippe played it with him, but, oh my god, this kid rocked it.
Oh,
I wanted to be like, let him play principal in a big orchestra on that, like, right now. It sounded so good,
oh, yes.
and
A
I think
dream.
Delmar recorded a little bit of it and put it up, which I got to meet Delmar in real life, and that was fun.
Oh, how did it feel meeting a big fan of oboes who is just an oboe lover and admirer that isn't an oboe player?
How did it feel meeting him? It was interesting, well, to see him and be like, "Oh, I know this guy," and for him to know me. because not only do we all know him, he knows all of us.
Exactly. He does a little bit of research. He looks
Mhm.
around those online posts for concerts and events and to see like who's doing what, and it's like, I see you. Ugh. It's like it's that weird paradox of instead of like a fan meeting a celebrity, you're the celebrity meeting a fan. You're like,
Yes.
"Oh, whoa." Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
and then sorry, I just keep on going. I played with the Brevard Philharmonic, and so this summer I took an audition with them, and I was runner up, and y'all, that was
Yay!
a rough day. I'm gonna tell the whole story. So, my husband was out of town, and I was playing a musical that weekend, so I had to get up at 7-ish to get to my audition on time because it's also, like, 3.5 hours away.
Right.
So, I got up, I showered, I got ready. Since my husband wasn't here, I also had to take care of the cat and the dog. I got ready, I left. I'm about an hour into my drive, and I realized that my blood sugar is going a little high, and I went, I'm probably just stressed, but let me just double check." And I went, "Oh, no, I didn't reconnect the insulin pump after I took my shower. It's just sitting at home on the bed." So I had to call the personnel manager and say, "Hey, can we do my audition a couple hours later? Because it's gonna
Yeah,
take me
my
an
gosh.
an hour to get home and then still 3 hours to get there." And he went, "Let me call the conductor, but it should be fine." So I came home, attached it, started driving, got there, and they were fine with it. They just pushed me to the very end. I got there, and I think the person right before me was still going. And so I
Oh,
got roughly 5 minutes to warm up, and then I
no.
went on the stage, and I just played and went, "Everything's fine. It is what it is." And then we, had to do the wait around for a little bit and found out I was runner up, and I was like, "Awesome. That's great."
Yes!
But so that put me at the top of the sub list, which was fun. So I finally got to play with them this weekend, and new situations like that are always kind of scary for a lot of reasons, I think. For me, the first big one really was I've never played with this other oboist before. And the only time I've met her is at this audition and at one other audition we both went to. But apart from that,
Oh,
we've certainly never played together. And when you're talking to people at auditions, I kind of try to keep it light, but people are very serious at these things. And I get it because they are very stressful and we aren't really our normal open
yeah.
selves.
Yeah, it's very much a weird, like, job interview-esque kind of vibe. And it's like, "Oh,
Yes.
okay."
So I go in to play the rehearsal. I'm scared. I think she's a little bit nervous too. I think this is only her second concert with the group. So, she's still getting the feel for it. And
Yeah.
on this concert, we were playing Tchaikovsky's Coronation March, which I was not familiar with. Um, Polivetzian March, which I also was not familiar with. And the conductor even said to us, "This is a piece that doesn't get played very often. You will probably play it now and then never again in your life." And it's a cutesy little march that sounds like Borodin. It's fine. And then we did Polivetzian dances, and then the second half was the Tchaikovsky Piano Concerto, number 1. So we are getting ready for rehearsal. We're noodling. Both of us were a little bit later than we wanted to be because of a lot of driving, so we didn't really get to talk much before the rehearsal.
Aw.
And we are also, for me at least, 1,200 feet higher in elevation than I am at home. So just going, what am I going to have to scrape
Oh.
out of these reeds? But so we start and things just are working. We're blending
Oh.
really well together. I feel like we're tuning well together. And even just, I think we started with that Borodin march. And there's a little, oh, it's not an oboe duet because I think the clarinets have it with us, but we're playing. And there's a little eighth note, ba da 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 dee da da, and we even moved the same way
Oh my
together as we
gosh.
played that phrase the first time, and I just was like, "Oh my gosh, this feels so easy." I
Not the
mean, and
choreo. Ugh,
mhm.
yes.
But to me, that just means that, we were very musically in sync,
Yeah,
and it
yes.
felt really good. So I had a blast playing with her. Her name is Michelle, and I told her and I posted about it that it was just fabulous to get to work with her, and
Oh.
play everything that we got to play together and sit there and nerd out a little bit. Also, like how we nerd out over things.
Yeah, as the oboist does. When there's another
Mhm.
oboist, they simply must know everything we do with our reeds and experiences in oboe land. Ugh, I love this, yay!
I feel like I've been in other situations where you go in and you've never played with the person, and they can not be all that nice of a person sometimes, or you're feeling like you can't blend with them the way you want to,
Ooh,
or you aren't lining up pitch wise. I've had all those things happen, and kind of figuring out what to do in those situations is so hard because you start going, well, should I just not play like myself? Which, when you're playing second, I think that's kind of what it comes down to is no, I need to match the principal and not play like me, but it's so hard to do.
right. And it's just one of those things where it's like you kind of have to just trial by fire the entire time and leading up to the concert, being like, I hope we figure it out and it locks in, and then we just see how it goes from there. Ugh, ugh. But this sounds like it was such a great experience for you
It
guys. Like I love
was.
that. And this-
I also really liked the conductor. He was very knowledgeable and very nice. And when things went wrong, he didn't automatically blame the orchestra. There was one section in particular, and he stopped after it and he went, "It's dragging a little bit." Well, I'm flapping my arms around like a condor. Of course it's dragging. Like you could see that he was figuring out what was going on. He was going, "Are they actually dragging or are they following me because I'm doing something weird?" And he went, "I'm
Oh,
doing something weird. I need to fix this so that they can follow me better." And that was just phenomenal too. I mean, and on top of that, he was a great conductor
oh my
because I think
god.
he is critical of himself. It was great.
Conductor who wants to, collaborate with the orchestra he's working with.
I know.
Whoa. What a concept. Just a volunteer group? Like, is that what you're telling me?
It was not. um, I did
Was it
get a
volunteer?
paycheck. Here it
I
is.
didn't.
It's not as big as I'd like, but that's okay.
Yeah, we still did
Um,
it.
I also for the concert was on a Sunday afternoon, and we had 2 rehearsals on Saturday, a morning and an afternoon, and they told me on Friday night, they went, "Oh, has anyone told you that the principal oboe won't be here on Saturday morning, so you'll be reading principal?" I was like, "No, no one has told me this." They were like, "Oh, good luck." So there I was, I go, okay.
Oh.
Guess I'll figure this out in the morning. For the Polivetzian dances, since I use Fourscore, I was moving things on my iPad so that I could play the oboe part and then go right into the English horn part. Because I just won't be able to play those low E's that are concert A's. I'll just have to be like, ba da dee da 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 dee da dee. And I was like, and it'll sound stupid, but the part will be covered. It'll be
The part we're
fine.
covering, you're making magic happen behind the scenes, and they're just like, "Wow, he's really eating it up out there." Heck yes.
When it was funny when I did that, the conductor even, like, gave a big old smile. He was like, "You're doing it. You're covering both parts. Happy." And I was like, "I put in the work, all 5 minutes that this took."
What? 5 minutes of my life I
But
won't get back, but I'm happy I had it right now.
if you guys have any stories like that where you've gone in and played with new orchestras, let us know. We'd love to hear them, and we might even share them on the next episode.
Please do. I'd love to know what everyone else does in orchestras. Do you nerd out before you start playing, or do you nerd out after? I'm nerded out with one of my friends, like, during a rehearsal, but it was because they were working with the strings. Let us know.
For this episode's slander, I'm gonna talk about orchestra committees because while they are so necessary to help the musicians get what they need, I am on one, and it is infuriating. and I'm just about to go off.
Okay.
Prepare yourselves, everyone.
Whew. Deep breath in and out. Take it away, Matthew.
So, first of all, it's 8,000 emails that nobody answers. The
Oh.
chair of the committee will send out an email. I'm just gonna start with the one that has most recently happened. He sent out an email asking someone else on the committee to create a scheduling thing, and we use something called Let Us Meet. And I didn't reply to the email because I was waiting on him to create the scheduler and send out the link. And then so the
Right.
chair sent us another email saying, I only ever heard from one person. And this is one of those few times where a reply all probably would be good. And yet,
Oh,
the one person that did reply only did a reply and not a reply all. But
of course.
I emailed back saying, "Hey, I've been waiting on the link so that we could actually schedule this." And he said, "Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't really thought that maybe that's why people weren't answering, but I haven't heard from him, so maybe you can make it." And I said, "Yeah, sure. I'll make it and you can send it out to everybody." So I made it. I sent it to him. And then I waited a few days and I kept checking it and went, "Hey, my availability is changing now. Did you ever send this out? I'm the only person that filled it out." And he went, "Oh no, I dropped the ball on that."
Oh,
Okay, well, we
no.
probably need to make another one. And so he was playing at my gig with me in Brevard, and I said, "Let's get together for like lunch or dinner one day while we're both up there, and I will
Right.
teach you how to do this."
Oh,
And he went, "That'll be great. Let's do that." So we did that over dinner. And as we did it, he even went, "This is not nearly as hard as I thought it was." And I was like, "No, it's very easy if you just follow the instructions that are right there in front of you. I don't get what's hard about it." So
no big deal. No big deal. I'm just seeing stars.
he made that. We got it sent out to everybody. So that means that he has filled it out, I have filled it out, and one other person has filled it out. And I think there are 3 other people on there, and they just haven't filled it out. So an email comes a couple of days ago, and she says, "This is just too confusing. What day are you guys trying to meet? I'll just let you know." And so I
Hello?
sent her an email back, and I tried to be very nice and not condescending and said, "Here are step by step instructions on how to fill this out." And I got no reply from that.
Oh
And
my
it's like, well,
god.
and she never filled it out despite that. Then the chair sent out another email and said, "So apparently this is too confusing for a few people to fill out. So we may just need to send all of our availability to me and I'll figure it out." And I just lost
Oh.
it. I was like, "What is with these troglodytes not being able to figure out how to use this?" We are in the 21st century, and let me tell you, all you have to do, you follow the link, you click add availability, you fill in your availability by clicking on the time, and then you click done, and you write your name, and you're done. That's the entire process, but apparently that's too confusing, and I don't get it. So that's just like the current drama of the musicians committee. The other hard thing about them is just getting these meetings to happen, like getting someone to say, "Hey, we should have one." And then after that, you have to take it to the higher ups. And then half the time when we do have something and we can't figure out what to do, it's always, "Oh, let's table this till next time," which really means we're never going to talk about this ever again. And the representation that this
Course.
musician needs is not ever going to be addressed again. It's so frustrating. Someone said to me before I was on this, was like, "Maybe this will give you more insight," because I'm often frustrated in orchestra when I feel like things aren't happening or like this isn't being brought to the board or to the
Right.
higher ups. And it has, but it's just the ineptitude is all it is.
Yeah. It's just trying to, like, explain the musician's needs to people who are trying to wonder why musicians have needs. Or I guess in this case, trying to get it scheduled so we can get to finding out why they have these needs. It's like, "Oh, when we get there, we'll find out why we're here."
That's the end of episode 3 of Oboe Slander. If you want to get in touch with us or check out our other stuff, we're on Instagram at Oboe Slander, on TikTok at oboe.slander, or you can email us at oboslanderqueens@gmail.com. And we're also on Facebook. All right, I'm done talking.
Same.
Into the episode.
You already did.